Hi, I'm Scott Flowers with Cloud Ninjas. Today we're here to continue our series on the Dell PowerEdge R730 server. In this video we're going to go over RAID. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by today to learn a little bit more about the Dell PowerEdge R730 server. Do us a favor, if you find this video useful, click that like, smash that subscribe. All right, so we're going to go over RAID today. We're going to show you the different options. We're going to actually physically install it, both the mini mono and the PCIe version, and we're going to actually configure RAID 5 for you. Let's get going. Alright, so we're going to start off by showing you your different RAID options, and in a few seconds we'll actually pull up a chart that shows you a comparison of them all as far as the RAID levels, the cache, the drive speeds, the PCIe gen, all that good stuff, okay? So what we've pulled out here are the bulk of the options. So you have right here, these are all mini monos, which is what I personally like to use because then you don't use a PCIe slot, and then you have over here, this is a PCIe slot version, okay? So within the mini monos I pulled out, this is the HBA 330, this is the H330, this is the H730, which is my personal favorite and most commonly used RAID option, or the RAID card for the R730, and this is the H730P, which is also a really excellent option overall. The only difference really between these two is the cache is 1 gig versus 2 gigs. And then back here, this is also an H330, but this is the PCIe version, okay? So these are all great options. Some of the stuff not shown is the onboard software, which obviously we can't show, which is the S130. And you can also put in an H830, which is a PCIe adapter as well, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull up a chart and show you all the differences. So you can see with the HBA 330, it's just a pass-through. You don't get any RAID levels, whereas with at least the onboard software, you get RAID 0, 1, 5, and 10. When you go over to the H330, this is a great storage option. You get RAID levels of 0, 1, 5, 10, and 50. You can go to the H730. This is when you start to get cache, because everything we've already talked about has no cache, but the H730 gets you 1 gigabyte, and it's going to be RAID levels 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, 50, and 60. The 6 and 60 is the big difference between the H330 and the H730, and then you go all the way up to the H730P. It's going to get you 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, 50, and 60, and the H830, which is not pictured, is the exact same, 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, 50, and 60. And then you see all the differences in the cache. You only really get cache with the H730, 730P, and the H830. All of them are PCIe Gen 3.0. All of them have drive speeds of 6 gigabit per second for SATA and 12 for SAS, and all of them are the hardware options minus obviously the onboard software, which is the S130. Okay, so now that we know all of the different options, got you a nice little comparison chart. We're going to actually physically install each option, and then we're going to show you how to actually configure RAID. Let's get going. Alright, so we're actually going to install an H330. This chassis that we're actually building out right now is a large form factor one. It's going to be a storage solution for this customer, but the H330 will get us to RAID 5, which is perfect, which is what we're about to do. So all you're really going to need is a screwdriver and your mini mono card itself. Alright, so we're going to pop the latch open, just make sure it's set to unlock. When you come in, there's a couple things that you're going to need to remove. You're going to need to remove the air baffle. This is really simple. We've done it a number of times. Just grab right here, pull straight up, put it to the side. You're also going to need to remove riser 1. So you're just going to need to come right here, lift straight up. Sometimes this one's a little snug, but nothing too crazy. So just pull that out, and you are in. So now that we're in, right here is where we're going to put our mini mono. So you'll notice that the PERC cable is already installed, as it should be, because if it wasn't installed, you wouldn't be able to use your drives at all. As far as they wouldn't be recognized. So you got to make sure that the cable is at least installed, regardless of whether you're trying to set RAID or not. So we're going to need to go ahead and remove the RAID cable. So this is really easy, just 2 screws. And one thing I did want to note, if your RAID cable doesn't feel like there's enough slack right here, which is not uncommon by any means, there's not a lot of space on this cable as a whole. So what I would recommend is just follow that cable up, okay? And if you follow it up, it'll probably take you out of camera right now, but there's these hooks. There's various hooks up here where the cable is, and this first hook right here was an important one. Sometimes it gets caught on the outside and it prevents the cable from reaching fully here. So that's just what I would say, to be extra careful that you have enough slack. Okay, so now that it's unscrewed, you're just going to pop the cable up. It's really easy overall. And then I have my H330 mono here, so we're going to line this up properly. So we're going to actually start over here, because you need to, and I want to point this out, you need to actually slide it under this little black piece right here. It might be kind of tough to see on the camera. We'll try to zoom in with that little black piece right there. You're going to want to slide this under, okay? And then we're going to put this right down. So I'll try to get my hand out of the way, but you see this comes just straight down nice and perfectly, and the holes are all lined up. Alright, so now we're going to put the cable back down, and we're going to line the screw holes up and put them into the card itself. And this part can be a little difficult. You need to just make sure you get it all in there. I'm sure my hands are probably blocking a lot of that, but really you're just going to push it straight down in, okay? And then we're going to want to just get the screws in, which is just a nice and easy part. And you see it kind of takes a second, almost popped in there. Alright, now I'm going to come get the other second screw here. Make sure we get it fully in. And I'm doing a little crisscross. I'm going back and forth to make sure they get fully in. And the right one actually is still not in. So I need to line this up a little bit, push this up a little bit more. There we go. So again, it's not hard, but it's just a matter of lining everything up properly to make sure that you get it fully seated, because you do need to make sure that you have a good firm connection. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now we're going to come back in. We're going to drop PCIe riser 1 back in. When you put this in, again, sometimes you have to push a little bit hard, make sure it's nice and flush. We're going to come back over, drop the air baffle in. And again, this is just about lining it up, make it nice and flush. And boom, we've installed our mini mono. So now I'm going to show you how to do the PCIe. Alright, so now we're going to install the PCIe version of the H330. So this is very similar. You're just going to pop the latch, make sure it's set to unlock. And if you watched the NVMe video, it'll be kind of similar to that as well. We're going to come over here to riser 1. We're going to pull this up. If you notice right here, there's these two blue dots. These are going to be important. The first one you're going to push right here. It's going to release the black tab here, which will allow us to remove the current low profile bracket. And then we need to come over here and push this one to pull down this black latch to give the space, because the card's kind of long, so it needs enough space to be able to get in there. Okay, so now it's all about just lining everything up properly and sliding it in. So let's get the card lined up, and once it's in, you're just going to pop it in. Okay, so you see it's all nice and in, and then we're just going to put the latch back in, and then same over here, put the latch back down, and then we're just going to install the riser again. So really that was nice and easy. And we have installed our PCIe version of the H330. Alright, so now that we have our H330 installed, we're going to go ahead and we are going to show you how to configure your drives to RAID 5, and that'll be fairly simple overall. It's going to be a screen capture that we've done that you can see all the different steps. Alright, so now that we've seen the different RAID options, we've seen how to install the RAID cards, we're going to actually figure out how to configure it. So on the boot screen menu, you're going to want to click Control R, and this is going to take you to the actual RAID screen, also known as the virtual disk management. When you get to the virtual disk management screen, the first thing that you're going to want to do is actually select the RAID card. In this case, it's going to be the H330. So we're going to click the H330 there. It's going to give you a couple of different options when we select it. We're going to hit clear config because that's the first thing we want to do is get rid of the old configuration to set up a new one. It's going to give you the warning message. We're just going to click yes because we want to clear it. We're going to go back into our H330, so we're going to click on it again. The same options are going to pop up. This time we're going to hit create new VD. Under this, we're going to go to the RAID level that you want to select. What we want for this option is we're going to do RAID 5. Of course, you can click whatever you want here. After you've selected your RAID level, you need to pick the disk that you want to add to it. So we're going to select the individual disk, and you see the X popping up on the left there. So after we select the individual disks, you can come in and add a name if you want. Click Advanced. Under Advanced, you're going to go to Initialize. You want to initialize this, and it will give you a warning message that's going to destroy the current data. Click yes if that's okay. Click OK. Click OK again. Click OK again. And that's what we're doing right now is a bunch of OKs. And after we've done all the OKs and it's given us all the messages, you've actually now configured your RAID for your R730 server. It wasn't that difficult to do. You just need to follow a few strategic steps. You can see there it's showing that it's at a RAID 5. We want to exit, so click OK. And then when you boot it back up, you can check it as well by going back into the same screen by hitting Control R and getting into the to the RAID screen to make sure everything is still good. So thanks for stopping by today. Learn a little bit more about how to configure the RAID on your R730 server. Do us a favor, if you find this video useful, click that like, smash that subscribe. And if you're looking to order an R730 yourself, we custom build them here. We'd love the opportunity to earn your business. Please do us a favor, email us at sales@cloudninja.com. That's sales@cloudninja.com. Or if you're just looking for any spares, RAID, CPUs, RAM drives, etc., we'd love to help you out. Thanks for stopping by. Take care, guys.